It is nice. 7 strength is always, you always want to see 7 or more strength, because 7 strength means guaranteed damage to Drakeys and at least 75% to hit ghosts. And if you get below that, then things can become really difficult. But when you have 7 strength, you generally can find a monster to grind in the first zone without too much trouble, unless it's really nasty.
Right. Looks like we're going to start with a key, the Stones of Sunlight, and another key. So now our racers have to think, do they want to save that key, or do they want to just go straight and open the treasury?
Well, generally, the play here is, generally what I like to do is go save again like the Hangry Canuck is doing. Emptyeye's taking a risk here, and just hoping there's something good in here. We do have gold, a torch, another torch. Oh no, sorry, that's a death necklace. We've got the gold grind set up with the instant early grind. And now we have an herb, so he can grind those up. So he can get himself started if he can find a town. He's got hand axe money. But it's not exactly... in a situation like a Tyrannex, where I went ahead and saved, I'd probably go ahead and reset after I saw these things, because nothing here is going to help you out immensely.
That is true, and we got a cave directly east of Thilotilo Castle. Emptyeye finds a magician, a little too underpowered for that, but we do have a town southwest of Thilotilo. Should be able to get there no problem. He does. And we have early coal. That could be huge. Could save a lot of money, too.
Womp womp. Just the flute. Not a bad thing to have at the end, but not what you're hoping for in coal.
Right, you're hoping for the armor of token, but if you take a look, we got a flame sword, we got magic armor. If I'm Emptyeye, and that's what Emptyeye is going to do, he is going to do a reset. He's going to get a gold grind going. And he is going to grind 17,000. Get himself a flame sword, get himself some magic armor. And Scorpions have DL2. And Hangry Canuck is going to reset. Yeah,
that's the flip side of when I saw nothing in the treasure, I would have immediately reset. If you get in this situation and you can find a town, especially with this strength and it has a flame sword, this instant reset to reset up the gold grind is the right play.
Hangry Canuck decides to go for a cave. We're going to take a look at what it is, and it's Garen's grave.
Now, I'd like to note that Emptyeye also opened the chest in a pretty intelligent order so that he could do an herb grind as well as the gold grind, just to improve his resources that much more.
Unfortunately for Hangry Canuck, runs into a knight, and he's got to restart.
And so far, we haven't seen anything less than a magician around here. Oh, and then, just as I say that, Hangry finds a slime.
No, that's not true. We did see a scorpion, but he had DL2 breath. But if this grind from Emptyeye works, that's going to be a big advantage for Emptyeye.
Yeah, unless we get hurt more at level 2, it's going to really put Hangry behind. But he's finding all the reasonable monsters now. I don't think he's going to be able to take a ghost, especially not if it has sleep.
Nope, and it's going to be slept. No, he awakes, and he's going to run away from it. So that's a good call, and also a good call from Emptyeye. Emptyeye is saved, and he's going to make his way back to Cole. Scorpion, I made a mistake, has baby breath instead of DL2 breath. Meanwhile, Emptyeye hero walks to Cole.
And if Hangry would just take a few steps south, he would see that he has a much better options available to him. But unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Sometimes you go one way, you go another, nothing, don't see anything, and you're like, okay, I don't want to waste too much time exploring, let's grind. And miss that one thing that's just right out of the corner of the screen.
And there's Emptyeye. He's got his flame sword. He's got his magic armor. So stats looking really good. So he's going to start grinding. And a warlock might be a little bit above his station, though. Especially if a warlock's got heal. And that will fully heal a warlock. And Emptyeye decides to nope away from a warlock, which is good strategy. There's no way you're gonna defeat a warlock right now. So he's gonna grind on some lower enemies. By the way, thehangrycanuck got level 2. Doesn't look like he got much. And now Emptyeye is in the grave. Runs into a golem. I'm shocked that he didn't do the fairy flute. And Madrion, he got Flame Sword and Magic Armor at level 1 because he did a gold grind in Tangential Castle. He saw the first 3 chests. And then saved. Actually went back into the throne room. And found a grind where he can redo the gold chest. Because in the game, it only holds the memory of 8 chests. In the... if you're in, like, the underground or Tangential Castle. And the same could happen with Garenham, and if there is a mountain cave or Garen's grave underneath. So, there you go on there. And so that 8th chest will just repeat, or anything above that 8th chest will just repeat. And so you can get multiple amounts of cash. Emptyeye runs into another golem. He's gonna run, but he's not gonna use his flute. And he's got an agility of 8. He needs to use that flute that he has. And that's not good when a ghost has hurt more. So Emptyeye is going to just take out a ghost. He's going to get level 2. Let's take a look at the stats for 2. 1 power, 6 speed, 3 hit points, 4 magic points. Now Emptyeye's got to figure out what he's going to do. It looks like he's just going to grind to this area. Scorpions should be one-shottable. Scorpions have baby breath and heal more. So that is a little problematic. But thankfully, Emptyeye does get a attacking scorpion, so he's able to take it down and will get level 3. Comes with 3 power, 4 agility, 12 hit points, 10 magic points, and the spell of Outside. Well, the HP helps, but needs a little bit more. Emptyeye runs into a Star Wyvern with Stop Spell. It's a little out of his pay grade. Meanwhile, thehangrycanuck decides to check the grave again and is having problems, can't run away from it. Star Wyvern takes out Emptyeye. The problem is thehangrycanuck, I don't think his agility is good enough to run away from a scorpion, from this rogue scorpion. And that attack will give him a perfect bid. 15 HP left, Rogue Scorpion attacks for 15. So Rogue Scorpion gets a $500 bonus and gets to play a pricing game. So Emptyeye looks like to be going southeast of Thilotilo and gets level 4 in the process. 1 power, 3 agility, 12 hit points, 15 magic points, but unfortunately no spell to use it. So his grind will continue. And a blue dragon is not what he wants to see, and blue dragon will breathe baby breath, so that might be a good grind later on in the game, but not right now at level 4. Meanwhile, Hangry Canuck finally reaches Cole. He's going to get the bad news that the good armor is there, but will he reset is the question. And he doesn't search. He does take, but he doesn't search. No, he's gonna buy a bamboo pole. Hangry Canuck is hoping for something to break out for him. Meanwhile, he will get knocked out by a wolf, and you see Emptyeye he will have enough for the wolf because he's got the flame sword and the magic armor. It's going to be a race, but he'll be able to take it out, and that will get him level 5. And the stats for level 5, 6 power, 2 agility, 2 hit points, 1 magic point, no other spells though. So it's just a matter of what Emptyeye does. Looks like he's gonna grind in this area until he hits level 6, till he feels comfortable enough to go anywhere else. Hangry Canuck is going to get his level 4, which should have 4 agility. So his agility is going to creep up, but it's not going to... But his HP will be lower than Emptyeye's near the end of the race. And unfortunately for Emptyeye, he gets an excellent doge. Great attack, but unfortunately the wolf just got out of the way. So it's going to be a little more tight than he would like to be. And we'd like to thank you, Lorgon, for raiding with a party of 3. We hope you guys enjoy this wonderful race between the Hangry Canuck and Emptyeye. And Emptyeye is almost there at level 6. Meanwhile, the Hangry Canuck is like Sandman, just whacking everything in sight with a bamboo pole or a kendo stick. Take your pick. And that will be level 6 for Emptyeye, defeating that magician. He's got 8 power, 9 agility, 8 hit points, and 2 magic points, but no additional spells. At level 6, maybe you take a shot at the grave. It could be very possible. So, round 2 at the Warlock, I think the strength is good enough. Yep. Emptyeye will start to be able to defeat magicians now, depending on the rolls. And looks like scorpions are going to be beatable as well. "15 minutes in, I would like to let everybody know, please give these wonderful races a follow. They're both 2 and 2. They're both fighting for their tournament lives. And Emptyeye has found another cave. What type of cave is this? It's the Jerk Cave. So that's going to be good to know later on. But back to what I was saying, please give both these races a follow, the Hangry Canuck and Emptyeye, for their respective streams. It'd be much appreciative. And also give our wonderful crew who is helping put this wonderful race for you together a follow as well. Tyrannex, who's doing the tracking, Captain Green, who's doing the restreaming, and Thilotilo, who's doing commentary. He had to step away for a bit, and myself, sigmafan. Emptyeye is taking on some wraiths to almost getting to level 7. Hangry Canuck is getting to level 5, just grinding it away with the stick. Or a stick, not the stick. And Emptyeye is going to go after a gold man here. But with Stop Spell hitting, it's going to be a bit tougher. Oh, and Baby Breath from the gold man will send Emptyeye back to the start. Now, Emptyeye's got to figure out what does he want to do. Does he want to dive the grave now, or does he want to explore some more? He's only a few experience points away from 7, so we'll have to see what happens there. So it looks like Emptyeye is going to continue to go southwest, but he's going to go back into coal. It looks like he might want to buy some supplies. Ranium, nope. The levels have been really good, so that means Emptyeye does not love them. I do not know. I haven't called many of Emptyeye's races. But I will say this. And Emptyeye is doing something smart. He's going to stock up on herbs. He's going to stock up on torches. He's going to stock up on and he bought himself a dragon scale. Could be one in the grave, but he's not going to take the risk. So he's going to bulk up a little bit, and hopefully he gets to 7 soon. And both of them are at the same shop, so Hangry Canuck is going to step out. And there's the Warlock for Emptyeye. If he takes it out, he'll be able to get to level 7. Hopefully have a good spell on it. Nope. Not enough to take it out, so the Warlock's going to cast heal. There's 18, but that's right at the point where the Warlock will heal. 15 looks like to be the sweet spot. If you get another 15, you should be able to take it out. 14 will do it. We'll take it out, and Emptyeye will get level 7. 3 power, 1 agility, 12 hit points, 8 magic points, but no new spells. So Emptyeye is now going south of Coal, is going to look around. He's going to run into some favorable enemies right now. 600 is what he's needed to get to 8. So this little area looks like to be a little bit of a grind for Emptyeye. Meanwhile, Hangry Canuck runs into a blue dragon, and he's going to be sent back to the start. Emptyeye sees a metal slime, but the metal slime goes away, but finds a wyvern. Does he have enough to take out this wyvern? It looks like he will, unless the wyvern has something nasty planned for him. Meanwhile, Hangry Canuck is going back to the grave, will face off against a knight, and at the corner of the screen, Emptyeye eyes a town, but is not able. But Hangry Canuck not able to run from the knight. He's gonna go back, and Emptyeye is gonna be grinding on wolves. It looks like. Looks like he'll be able to two-shot them. I think Emptyeye is just hoping to get a heal spell at 8. Because I think if he gets a heal spell, he will maybe dive the grave. He only got there once, but ran to some golems. He does have the flute. So maybe thinking about going back, or he's going to go down and around, maybe go to that town. And that seems to be the case. He's Emptyeye is going to go look for that town. Meanwhile, the Hangry Canuck has just run into a bit of a wall. And we got level 8 for Emptyeye, 9 power, 6 agility, no hit points or magic points, so he will love both of those levels, and gets Return as a spell. It's helpful, but not right now. Meanwhile, Hangry Canuck finds a knight in the grave, and a really high roll of 34, tries to run but can't, and he's going to be sent back. Meanwhile, Emptyeye has found a way to the town, runs into a Drakima, but manages to beat him down. Got some bridges over there, don't know if they connect to anything or not, but Emptyeye is not worried about that right now. He's trying to get to the town. He does, and it is Rimuldar. That is huge for Emptyeye. He's going to be able to buy a lot of keys quick. Emptyeye finds a shield. It's a small shield, but that's going to help him out with defense. Probably add another 2 defense points. So he's going to get 4 defense for the small shield. And Emptyeye buys his keys, so he's going to check that one chest, hoping to see something big. Could it be the token? Could it be the harp? Could it be something good? It is fairy water. It's not that good at all. That's just a glorified repel. So Emptyeye is just going to explore this area. Runs into a Magiwyvern. He's going to be able to run away from it. Ooh, but running into a blue dragon is not good at all. He's able to run from it, though, and finds a red slime. And the red slime blocks his path just to run away. Meanwhile, a Droll, he will take care of that and take the 14 or so. But he is dodging! There's the excellent move. We'll take down the Droll and turn him into Escargot.
Alright, sorry for my absence. Sometimes a 2-year-old can become a 2-parent job.
And thank you for being a parent. And we're honest about that. And a Rogue Scorpio will take out Emptyeye. Emptyeye has opened up a big lead, so Emptyeye might be thinking, do I dive the grave now? You're at a good level. You could probably take out the knights that are up there. But he does have keys, so I don't know why he's back in here. He knows what's in here.
Has he been in the back of the castle at this point?
No, he just got his keys, actually, out of Rimuldar. He found Rimuldar.
So, he's probably setting up a potential gold grind if this exits into Garenham on the other side. Is maybe what he's thinking. Which is why he opened those chests, and then leaving it leaving the gold chest, I believe, in case it comes out that the Garenham is on that side but doesn't have a gold chest. He can go back in Swamp and die.
Meanwhile, Hangry Canuck finally gets those chests. He finds a torch. The silver harp, that is big. And a dragon scale. Little fruit... Well, it's not what Hangry Canuck was looking for. He did find the harp.
He finds the harp at the same time Emptyeye finds the harp cave underneath the castle.
And Emptyeye is gonna be in a good mood. He goes back into the grave. So and he will be able to take out those knights. Or not. He's low rolling them with an 8. Is he going to attack or he's going to run? He's going to run. And a Star Wyvern takes out the Hangry Canuck. Emptyeye is going to get his harp.
The seed is being pretty stingy with spells, as Hangry opens up his spell menu, hoping to see more than just that outside, and is disappointed.
Yeah, and now Emptyeye is going to dive those 2 chests on the bottom of the grave. So this could be big for Emptyeye. He found Rimildar early, and now Hangry Canuck is going to go into the Jerk Cave. So now he knows where that is. Emptyeye will find another magic key. Meanwhile, Hangry Canuck is just searching for something. Anything! And a golem to hit him at 51 is not what he wanted to see.
Yeah, with this strength score and only a bamboo pole, it gets really frustrating to get to this level and still not be able to kill anything.
And he was on the... Here's the thing. He was also on the search spot in coal, but instead of using search, he used take. So, even though he has seen the search spot in coal, he does not know what's there. So, he might want to go back, even though we know it's the flute. It could gnaw on him that it could be the armor. Meanwhile, Emptyeye runs into a blue dragon, is able to run away, but runs into a wizard and is being blocked by the wizard. He's going to have one more shot. He is able to get away. But unfortunately for Hangry Canuck, unfortunately for Emptyeye, he has no more herbs. So he's got to stay alive and get to that last chest. Thankfully, he does have the magic armor, so every 4 steps will heal 1 hit point. It's a small consolation, but it is helpful in the end. Hangry Canuck going the right way. Emptyeye runs into a gold man, is able to get away. He's going to get to that last chest, hopefully, unless some... No, he's going to find the... It is a cursed bell, which does him no good. So he will drop it. He will drop a torch, I believe. Yep. He will drop a torch. And now he's got outside, but he's looking to Death Warp.
Did we see a silver shield in Rimildar?
I think he did. No, a small shield. But he has good enough equipment right now that he can find... Ooh, and he kills the wizard. That's going to get him 100 away from what he needs. And that's the death Emptyeye was looking for. He is going to do his gold grind, maybe to 15,000, and be able to find the silver shield.
He's also going to be able to grind those herbs back. Which is a minor note, but since there is no item shop in Rimildar and Coal's item shop is super obnoxious to get to, it is nice to have easy access to a new full set of herbs.
That's absolutely true. By the way, fun fact of the day. The original Black Ranger, Walter Jones, actually starred in his own sci-fi series on Nickelodeon called Space Cases. And that is your fun fact of the day.
I feel like we need to have some little special tune or jingle for that.
How about this for a fun fact? Supermarket Sweep is coming back to TV. It will be starring Leslie Jones. Expect it this summer.
Now that's exciting. I don't think anybody who grew up in the 90s, or I think everybody who grew up in the 90s enjoyed watching Supermarket Sweep. Everybody knows what happens when you hear the beep.
Think of all the fun you could have on
Supermarket Sweep!
Bad news for Hangry Canuck. Metal Slime runs away. Oh, it's a fact. It is 100% pure fact. Deadline reported it last night.
So Emptyeye choosing to obtain 2 Staffs of Rain just to be safe.
What do you do with
Proving
2
that it
Staffs
can
of
indeed
Rain?
be done. So, unlike a lot of the other key items in this game, the game doesn't bother to do a check on that you already have the Staff of Rain or the token or anything like that when you go to pick up the Staff of Rain, because ordinarily you can't actually access it unless you just gave up the harp. And so there's no need to check for that. But of course in Rando, when that sits in the basement of the castle, you can open up the chest multiple times, and so you can get multiple Staffs of Rain. The Jerk will only take 1 of them, so Emptyeye will have 1 less inventory slot for the remainder of the seed.
Meanwhile, while we were chatting about Supermarket Sweep, Hangry Canuck found Breckenry, but only goes in there to heal.
Now, have we seen a hand axe in either town?
Yeah, Cole's got it.
So one thing Hangry could have done is sell the Death Necklace and bought a hand axe and chain mail, which would have helped him get an early start here. A lot of people don't think about selling the Death Necklace, but it sells for 1,200 gold, and it can be really useful in overcoming a slow start, which can often make up for the extra time you may have to grind at the end to gain the strength that you can't get from the Death Necklace.
That is right. Hangry Canuck now finds Garanum. And Emptyeye finds Cantland. That is equally big. He's going to have 3 shops. Can a Silver Shield be in one of them? It will not be in the first one. He's going to check the second one. He's going to look for that Silver Shield. And he finds it in the shop behind the locked door.
So Emptyeye with the best gear that money can buy at this point.
And so we are gonna take a look. That is a bit of a problem. He double-stepped. He stepped out, so he is gonna absorb a little more damage than he would like.
Fortunately, getting some pretty decent heals from those herbs, and finding out there are no coordinates. Which means that the token has to be in a chest, and the armor has to be in Hawksness.
Yep. Hangry Canuck could find it right here. No, he finds the herb. So, he did find the grave. He did find the mountain cave. Now, the problem for the second floor of the mountain cave, it has the same monsters as the first floor in Garen's grave. So, unfortunately for the Hangry Canuck, he is going to run into those knights that gave him so many problems. Hangry Canuck is going to find in those 2 chests a big load of gold. It's going to give him over 1,000.
Yeah, the good news is now if he dies, he will have the gold to at least upgrade his gear some.
Yeah, and Hangry Canuck desperately needs to. And that's what he didn't want to see. But that could be good news for thehangrycanuck. Now he could activate a gold grind. That is if he wants to, though. But Emptyeye runs into an armored knight. Can he get away from it? No. He's going to be sent back. thehangrycanuck is hemming and hawing.
He was going to go for the gold grind, and then he decided, you know what, let's stock up on keys first. Because he was still holding on to just his original key. And so he wanted to make sure he didn't lose that one. I believe that's why he didn't do anything when he got to Garanham, is because he didn't want to use his one key on the on going into the back of it. Unless I missed him getting there earlier.
I don't think he ever went into the back half of Garanham because he didn't have a key.
Exactly. I mean, he had one key from the very, very beginning, because he didn't use it on the treasury like Emptyeye did. But, which of course is how he got... Or at least I thought he did. Maybe I'm wrong. But I guess he did get another key in the mountain cave. So...
That he did.
So regardless, he wanted to stock up on those first. And now...
Oh! Emptyeye got heal more at level 9! We completely missed that level. But a fizzle! A hurt more fizzled, and now Emptyeye's can be sent back, but he has Radiant as well. If somebody did catch those stats for 9, I'll be most appreciative. In chat, please. Hurt Mizzle, that's right. Well, thehangrycanuck has got a gold grind going now, so he'll be able to get the same armor and sword and the flame sword as Emptyeye does. So that's going to help him out. Meanwhile, Emptyeye is just looking for towns. He runs back into Garanham, not Garanham, but Cantlin. Looks like he's going to buy some herbs and other equipment. thehangrycanuck is grinding even higher because he has seen a silver shield before.
So to address Lawspike's question in chat about zones, it's actually something that's true in vanilla, where the second floor of Mountain has the same zone as the first floor of Grave, and then the Swamp Cave has the same monster zone as the first floor of Mountain. And so even though the zones are randomized in the randomizer, that link between the two does not change. And so they still have those same zones. Outside of that, the only other logic involved in zones is that Sharlock can have a limited subset of monsters. Werewolves, Star Wyverns, Green Dragons, Wizards, Red Dragons, Blue Dragons, Axe Knights, Armored Knights, Stonemen, and Golems. And then the opening zone right around the castle has a very limited set of monsters going up to a Scorpion, and then the zones north, south, east, and west of the castle have monsters only up to wolves. That's the extent of the sorting that is done for zones.
And Emptyeye is now back in the grind, trying to find all these towns that thehangrycanuck has found. thehangrycanuck has gotten to 35,000, so he's going to jet into coal, buy himself a flame sword and the magic armor. So Hangry Canuck now has his equipment, so he's going to be better equipped now, so he can take out all these harder enemies that he had trouble with just the bamboo pole. Emptyeye is almost at level 10. He's about 100 or so away. And Rogue Scorpion with Hurt More is really beneficial.
Rogue Scorpion's having absolutely no Hurt More resist whatsoever and guaranteed to be one-shot by a Hurt More. Both them and Magic Wyverns fit that, are the best two monsters that have no resist and guaranteed one-shot. So they're always nice to find as soon as you get Hurt More.
And Emptyeye does it, defeats the Armor Knight. He will get level 10. So let's see what we got here. 2 speed, 9 power, 2 speed, 9 hit points, 2 magic points. No new spells. I did not see attack power.
I do believe this map is the first time I have ever seen a bridge on top of a mountain. Directly on top of a mountain, not with the water tiles both above and below it. It looks a little odd because you don't see the coastline coming out from below it. It's just an interesting little graphical thing I hadn't seen before.
Yeah, it is quite interesting. Oh wow, ghosts have Hurt More. I forgot completely all about that. So Sleep and Hurt More, that is a level lower than Wombo. And it looks like Hangry Canuck is going back underneath the grave to get those 2 additional chests. We know they're useless, but Hangry Canuck does not, because he's now looking for the token and immediately get his Rainbow Drop before he could grind and go and find the armor. Emptyeye is back near Cantlin, but it looks like he's going to try to take out this Armor Knight, hoping to get to level 11, which is 2175.
So at this point, it may have missed something when I was away. The only chests we haven't seen are the tablet, the back of Garanham, and the last one in the mountain cave. Is that correct?
That is correct. One of them will have the token.
Or have we seen the vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave either?
No. No, I don't think so. But we know where the armor is, and that is in Hawk's Nest. Now, this is quite interesting. Hangry Canuck has seen everything that Emptyeye hasn't seen. So, Hangry Canuck does have a good idea of where everything is. Emptyeye, even though has an immense experience point lead, doesn't know where a lot of things are.
Yeah, really the only edge in exploration that Emptyeye has is that he knows where Cantlin is, but Cantlin is actually useless in this seed, and that he knows what's in the bottom of Grave, which of course is what Hangry is going to right now. And now he's found Tablet.
Which I don't think thehangrycanuck has seen. But he does have outside, so even if it's not anything, he can get out of here.
It is most definitely something.
Oh boy, it's Erdrick's sword.
I imagine at this point now Hangry is going to be making his way back to Garanham to see what's in the back of that. And I think our choices remaining now are Stones of Sunlight and Swamp.
We have not seen Swamp Cave. Which the only reason you would go into Swamp Cave is if Sherlock or Hawksnest are on the other side, because we've seen every other town.
And indeed, here is Hangry going to Garanham.
So this could be Freebie Cave or this could be Swamp Cave.
And there is the token. Which means that Emptyeye doesn't ever even need to find the mountain cave, as the best thing that could possibly be found there is if that last chest is the fighter's ring. And this is apparently one of the swamp entrances.
Yep. And thehangrycanuck is just thinking to himself, where do I go?
Looks like that would be Swamp North. So, and it seems to be heading across.
And Emptyeye has found a town.
I believe that's Breckenary. So he is hot on Hangry's heels here, because Garanham is just slightly southwest of this. And Emptyeye is going to get fairy water at the little visited fairy water shop in Breckenary. One of the 2.1 additions is that
thehangrycanuck did a good thing exiting that cave. He has found Sherlock. And Emptyeye has now found Garanham.
And since they both know where the jerk is, Emptyeye can actually get the drop. And I mean, if he finds Hawksness over here, I guess he needs another town to heal up at. I was thinking maybe he'd never have to come back to the first continent, but he needs a way to refill his resources. Assuming Hawksness is on the second continent.
Well, thehangrycanuck is searching it right now, but unfortunately he's running into a rogue scorpion. He does not have the power to defeat him. He can endure him, but doesn't have the power to do so.
Yeah, and the spell of Outside not gonna help out a whole lot. So, doesn't have much in his arsenal to handle this. And the
Emptyeye
agility-
not going through Swamp Cave.
I guess he wants to finish off. He either wants to finish off the first continent, exploration of the first continent, or else, since he just got the token, he wants to go ahead and get the rainbow drop errand taken care of before he ventures off.
Which is a really good idea. Hangry Canuck was able to run away from the rogue scorpion. And he's got heal more. Emptyeye now has heal more. He didn't gain any MP, but he doesn't care.
Yeah, with heal more, hurt more, and 92 hit points, there's really nothing that scares you that much. Maybe a red dragon, because their attack power is still absurd.
Well, that is Mountain Cave that Emptyeye has found. He doesn't really need to dive it, and he knows he doesn't need to dive it, so he's out of there. And he is going back to Garanum. I think he's going to get a torch or two, fill up on his herbs, and maybe he'll be on the hunt for Hawk's Nests.
Now, the question, if you're Emptyeye and you have hurt more, is when you're going ahead and going across the swamp cave, do you stop to check the tile real fast so that you know if this is going to be a suitable grind spot?
No reason not to. No, Zarnax. Hawk's Nest is the only one outstanding, and it's got the armor.
So even if Hawk's Nest has the better grind monster, the grind in Swamp Cave maybe end up being the more efficient grind just for healing purposes.
Exactly. If it's anything like a Stone Man... if it's anything that you could actually take care of with spells, it should be okay. Meanwhile, Emptyeye makes his way to the outside and finds... And there's Sherlock right there. So now he's just on the hunt for Hawk's Nest. He knows where the Jerk Cave is. Emptyeye in a fruitless battle against the metal slime. Emptyeye is going to be up here, going to see that there's nothing up here. Hangry Canuck has explored it before. Hangry Canuck hasn't seen... there's a couple of pieces of land in the second continent that Hangry Canuck has not seen.
Hangry getting the bad news that there are no coordinates, and so, well, I think he assumes that means the armor will be on Hawk's Nest. I imagine he thinks he searched instead of took at Cole. Can't imagine that that's still, that he wouldn't have searched by now since then, so he's going to be making the assumption, fortunately correct in his case, that the armor is in Hawk's Nest.
Yeah, but first thing he's going to do is cash in his 3 items and get the drop. And now I'm wondering, did we ever see a lot of this? Hangry Canuck found Hawk's Nest on the first continent.
Unfortunately for Hangry, there's really not much he can do with that, other than just having the knowledge. Having said that, because it's on the first continent, that could make it a potential grind zone because it's close enough to... it could be close enough to the other towns. More so than if it was on the second continent.
And it's a stone man, so... that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, without sleep, that'll still be obnoxious even for Emptyeye. With heal more than 92 hit points, it shouldn't turn into a problem for him, and Emptyeye sees these tiny little bit that Hangry was not able to get to, and sees that it's absolutely nothing, so... aware that the second continent is only housing Sharlock at the moment.
So, I don't know what Emptyeye's strategy is. He's gonna have to get out of there. Meanwhile, Hangry Canuck is gonna get the Jerk Cave. He is going to get his Rambo Drop. There's Emptyeye getting out of there. Erdrick's sword was in tablet, Smashy. There's Emptyeye with his good old drop. Now he's got to find where Tablet is, and he is on the right way.
With this Armored Knight, Emptyeye is going to be reaching level 12, so we'll see what it's going to offer him.
He's hoping for a lot of attack power. Or sleep. 6 power, 18 hit points, and a spell of... well, Emptyeye is going to validate the seed. It looks like he got Stop Spell.
So it looks like Hangry has decided, you know what, enough's enough. I'm going to sit here and grind for another level because I can't do a whole lot more. I can't take on Hawksness. I found everything I need. So let's get another level. And he's going to be happy when he hits level 8 because, if I'm not mistaken, that is the Hurt More level. Or level 9, rather.
Yep, 9 had Hurt More, and Emptyeye has just seen Hawksness. So he's going to fight the Stone Man. And he's probably going to just cast a whole bunch of Hurt More.
No, it looks like he's going to go with the slicing mechanism instead. It's a different schools of thought. You know, you can't guarantee... I mean, it's only a 50-50 to hit a Stone Man, and you can't guarantee that you're going to kill them in 2 Hurt Mores. because they can roll super high on the hit points. So you can take your chances and kill it faster, or you can just say, hey, look, I know I have the resources to get enough hits in with these heal mores I have, so let's take the guaranteed thing rather than the higher risk, higher reward thing.
And it paid off. He's got it, and he's got the armor. So it looks like he's just going to grind on Stoneman for a little bit.
Well, this stone man here was a random encounter as he was trying to walk out, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong on that, based on where it's centered. I imagine that as soon as he loses his resources here, he's going to head right back to the swamp cave and see if they've got a better option there. Because in general, of all the monsters you can find on a spike tile, stonemen are the worst grind. If you don't, I mean, obviously, depending upon what abilities different people have. Oh, looks like I was wrong. But depending on what abilities certain monsters have, obviously that can change. But assuming all other things equal, Stone Man is massively the worst grind at a grind tile.
So, do you think after he dies, do you think he'll... Well, Garanum is a bit of ways away from Hawk's Nest, so... But the positive on that, though, is he can nope out and heal at Garanum because Garanum is Swamp North.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's just... So, again, even if you see Stonemen in Swamp North, I still think that's the preferable grind because of the easier heal. So, I don't think we're going to see Emptyeye back in Hawksness after this.
Okay, so 559 is what he needs to 13. The only stat that's there is hit points. So he's gonna buy some keys, and who knows what he's gonna do? Will he go into Swamp? Will he just grind at Sherlock? Who knows?
There's also the area that he grinded like right outside of Cantlin, where he was running into some armored knights and I think rogue scorpions and whatever in the desert. That could theoretically be a good grind if the spike tile turns out to be nothing of note. Although I probably would go Sherlock if that turns out to be the case. But I mean, then again, if you go grind right outside of Cantlin, you have another quick healing. So. Whereas with Sherlock, you don't have any real way to regain your resources quickly. You'd have to go back across the swamp cave to Garanham.
That is absolutely true, and it looks like that is going to be the play. He is going to go swamp cave.
Hangry, meanwhile, hitting the Hurtmore level and saying, you know what, let's give the Stone Man another try. First taking his chances on a blue dragon, though. And gets the 25% double Hurtmore. That's a good sign. Or maybe it's a bad one, because it means he's using up all his good RNG.
And who knows, you never could tell with Dragon Warrior Randomizer.
And it appears that he did indeed use up all of his good RNG.
So Emptyeye is now back in Garanum. He'll stock up on herbs, maybe a torch. Well, he's got Radiant. And 63... I guess who knows what he's going to do with that. But it looks like he is going to go to the back half, see what's in that spike spot. I would assume that with 90 attack power, if it's an Axe Knight, he's going to be golden. Here's my question, Emptyeye. If you don't see an Axe Knight, what's the second best one that you would want to see? A blue dragon or something like that?
Assuming that none of the other monsters has like a special skill, like stop spell, then I would say the Armored Knight, just because their strength is so bad that any monster you can't easily hurt more is going to take a long time. So if they have like stop spell or something, it might not be awful, just because you can get through a lot of battles. But I prefer a monster I can kill quickly. Like the Golem here is going to take a lot of hits to get down. The point that Emptyeye doesn't even want to try it, he's going to go probably right to Sharlock and see what he can do there, because that's going to have more enemies he can hurt more.
Right, that 90 attack power, yeesh, especially for golems, you'll need like something like a 110 to make that an efficient grind.
Yeah, you're looking at like 7 shots to kill the golem, and of course you either have to put it to sleep and hope it stays asleep, or you have to use a whole bunch of heal mores just to get through one, and it's just at this strength not a good thing. But the Axe Knight, on the other hand, that he finds in Sharlock, is exactly what he's hoping to see.
Yep, and thehangrycanuck is in the grave too. He's gonna get the bad news. And as you see by Emptyeye, attack power just clearly not there for a lot of these Sharlock enemies. You're going to be 3 and 4 hitting these wizards. So 4175 is what Emptyeye needs to get to level 13. This Axe Knight should do it. And here it is. Let's take a look at these stats. Ouch. 2 power, HP, 15 more hit points, 5 more magic points. Yeah. It looks like Sharlock might be your answer.
Yeah, that looks like the Death Necklace is going to be coming into play in this seed as well. At this rate, they may have enough hit points that they'll have 125 after the Death Necklace before they get the strength to actually compete without it.
Especially Emptyeye, who's doing the strength hit point build. thehangrycanuck is doing strength agility build. I think the problem with that is, and I think what is going to cost thehangryeye this race, as Emptyeye's got a really efficient grind going. Ooh, Axe Knights have hurt more. We have never seen that in this race yet. The problem is that thehangrycanuck looks to have gotten too far behind. It's going to take maybe a DL2 defeat at the hands of Emptyeye in order to bring it back close.
Now, have we seen any red dragons yet?
No, we have not.
So Hangry's best chance at this point, I think, is hoping that the red dragons have sleep and potentially Dragon Lord 2 Breath as well. Because I think we've seen most everybody else that's going to be in Sharlock and have not seen anything particularly nasty. But this agility is also really, really bad. And so if it stays that way, that strength agility build could potentially get Hangry down through Sharlock and away from whatever red dragons might be in the way. But I mean, to me, that's the only real way Hangry can make this up, because there's no way to grind efficiently on those grind tiles to match what's going on here in Sharlock with this attack power. Then again, Hangry could dive right now and just hope to land 3 Hurtmores on the Dragon Lord. You never know.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the armor.
Or heal more. So, or heal. So it'd be kind of hard to get across all of those barrier tiles.
Ooh, by the way, we got a raid from Fan the Wolfman. Raiding from Prairie 2. Thank you very much, Fan the Wolfman. So it looks like we have our best case scenario for the first floor: Axe Knights, Wizards, Star Wyverns, Blue Dragons, and Werewolves.
I think I just saw Emptyeye get his second Erdrick's token. So I mean, when in the new version, the Jerk takes the Erdrick's token as well as the Rainbow Drop when you turn, or the Erdrick's token as well as the Staff of Rain when you turn it in. Before, he only took the Staff of Rain when you went to go get the Rainbow, or the Staff and the Stones when you went to go get the Rainbow Drop. Now he takes the Staff, Stones, and token. But apparently, you can still get the token when you have the Rainbow Drop. That's what we just saw happen on Emptyeye. So now he has 2 Staffs of Rain and 2 Erdrick's tokens, as well as his Rainbow Drop. I guess he only has 1 Erdrick's token because he used the other one. But he has 2 Staffs of Rain. Okay, I am just totally not wording correctly. He has the Rainbow Drop, a Staff of Rain, and a token. Which is 2 more items than you would expect to have at this point in time.
Word is hard.
Word is hard indeed.
You English good. By the way, give all of our runners a follow, the Hangry Canuck and Emptyeye. They could use your support, so cheer them on, whether in this race or any race that they do. Follow them on their Twitch channels, and just give these runners the love they need and deserve. And also give love to the people behind the scenes, Captain Greed 7, who is our restreamer, Tyrannex, who is our tracker, and myself, sigmafan, and Thilotilo. Meanwhile, Emptyeye looks like to be diving and grinding.
You may just want to go ahead and get the information on what else is down there, because, I mean, with this absolutely brutal agility, it's going to be good to know, hey, is there a whole lot of, Armor Knights and Red Dragons down here in Zone 2? So I might need to grind another level if it's something's borderline. But if I go down and all I see are the nice monsters that I've seen on the first zone, then I can go down at any borderline level and expect to get to the Dragon Lord with all of my Hailmores, or maybe all -1. So even at this agility, because you're a favorite to run from everything except an Armor Knight and a Red Dragon. So it may just be, great monsters here and some scouting so that he can make sure he doesn't grind a level he doesn't need. Although at this point with this attack power, I think they need all the levels.
There is no focal point. That excellent move is going to come in handy. He's going to allow Emptyeye to not burn a heal more. And 5625, he's got the level. 1 power, 7 speed, 5 hit points, but a new spell of Sleep.
Sleep not offering a whole lot of niceties for what he's looking for right now. It's not worth it to use that to run from a Stone Man, and you can't do enough damage to make it worth it to put him to sleep for it. Hangry comes across the Vanilla Stones of Sunlight cave and finds an herb.
Hangry Canuck has not found Tablet yet. And Emptyeye is going to use Radiant. He sees a blue dragon, and it's going to dodge. The blue dragon, knowing the 5 Ds of Dragon Warrior: dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Yeah, even though they all have everything, Hangry Canuck does not have the armor. He's looking to get the armor, But the problem with him is he does not have heal more. That comes at 11.
Which means he's probably going hurt more strats on these stone men, which requires at least 2 hurt mores, and they have a 7 of 16 dodge. So it's roughly 25% that you're going to kill it in 2 hurt mores. And he might have 3 chances at it with the... At full hit points, he will probably have 3 chances. Maybe 4 if he's lucky. But he's going swing strats instead, which probably isn't going to work out very well for him. Oh, he does have heal more. Never mind. That'll probably work out just fine for him then.
Emptyeye sees a golem on the next floor, so he's going to run away from that. Attack power clearly not there. And another excellent move by Emptyeye. Emptyeye's dive technique has gone rather well. His luck has been impeccable.
The golems have hurt. That is a very useful thing to know. That can make them decent grinds, even when you have to swing a whole lot of times. And it seems like they're casting it at a pretty good clip, so it's either 50 or 75%. I'm leaning towards 75 at the moment.
I wonder if our tracker can show us the golem stats, if that is possible. And Angry Canuck, while we were looking at Emptyeye stream, was able to defeat the Stone Man, does have the armor. Stats on the golem. And Hangry's got 12. He is going to get list. It is 50% hurt.
So that's probably not enough to make it a worthwhile grind yet. Once you get in the maybe 1/10s of attack power, it could be worth it. But I think you're probably still going to be having to take 6 swings, 5 to 6 swings on the golem, and that just may not be worth it. But let's see if Emptyeye is... It looks like Emptyeye is going to decide to grind the golems now that he has seen that one.
Yeah, he's seen what they're packing, and will he fairy flute them? No, he's just going to attack them straight.
Well, if you want to excellent move them, they become a much faster grind. That is a really good question, Zarnax. Why Emptyeye keeps getting that gold chest in Garanham? I am wondering if he has forgotten that he has the silver shield, and so he is trying to grind up to that gradually as he's doing the grind here. Otherwise, I don't know what the purpose of it would be.
Maybe money for supplies.
Yeah, he's at 7,000 gold now. I think he's probably set on supply money. I mean, that may be what he's thinking, but it's probably diminishing returns at this point. And another excellent move as well.
And plus, you also have to realize, golems only drop 10 gold. So if he's grinding on golems, he would need to pick up that chest. So here is 15. Let's see. 7 power, 7 agility, 1 hit point, 4 magic points. So He is at exactly 100, so I think Golem Grind's going to be his best bet.
Now here is where there's a really interesting decision to be made. He has 131 hit points, and we haven't seen anything particularly nasty in Sharlock yet. It is a real consideration here to go ahead and equip the Death Necklace, which can significantly improve this grind by adding another 10 attack power. That does mean he'd have to make the dive without having the extra hit points, but with what we've seen so far from a monster standpoint, and with who knows how many levels to go before we actually are able to take on the Dragon Lord, that loss of HP may not be particularly problematic to offset, or at least problematic enough to offset the gain in time you would get from equipping the Death Necklace. Do you remember where Tablet was in the map?
Yeah, it was northeast of the grave. It was in that area.
I do wonder what is going through Hangry's mind at this point in time in terms of, is he going to say, I have got to find this cave and take my chance that this one chest I missed is not the sword? Although, having said that, I believe he hasn't finished off Mountain Cave either. I could be wrong on that. But
no, he never finished that. There's that one chest in Mountain Cave he never got.
Which he's found everything else, so that should be the only thing he's trying to explore for, unless he's exploring for a decent grind spot. So if I were in his shoes, I would probably go ahead and dive Mountain first before doing the search for Tablet, since he at least knows where that is. But then again, he's probably explored almost all the maps, so he should be able to find Tablet before too long.
That is correct. Allegra, it is in Tablet Cave. Tablet Cave has the sword. Meanwhile, Emptyeye is facing the worst thing ever, being blocked by... Oh, there it goes. He was being blocked by the NPCs, but was able to get away. Emptyeye is about 4 or so golems away from 9750. He is 5 golems away, because level 16 is 9750, so 5 more golems, he will have his level.
Game Boy pointing out that as an admin, he felt it necessary to take the strength away from this seed.
Well,
just what you have to do sometimes.
Well, Game Boy F9 is a cruel, cruel mistress.
One of the fun things about Randomizer is you can have these seeds where you get absolutely nothing forever and ever, and then suddenly you get that one level that's higher stats gains than you could imagine. I know I've had, I think in my tournament last year, I got a 69 hit point stat gain to put me in go mode when we had almost nothing the entire seed. And you'll see sometimes 35 attack power or whatever. So while this feels like it's going to probably go 18 or 19, it's very possible that suddenly 16 is going to be a massive, massive gain. You never know. I mean, at this point, we're 7 HP, and MP is not too awful if we can get a good boost in strength. And agility is reasonable enough that we can probably survive.
And there is a great, excellent attack from Emptyeye. Meanwhile, thehangrycanuck is gonna jump into Sherlock, see what's there, maybe grind there.
He's probably looking to see if the sword's in Sherlock, because he still hasn't found it. So he's making this dive and grind to go get the sword in the process.
And with the way he's swinging those hurt mores, it looks like that's the case. Sword is in Tablet Cave, Panthernos.
Well, to answer your question, Ali, we only have... The only chests we haven't seen at this point are the ones in Sherlock. So the odds that the ring is in Sherlock is 100%.
And here we go. Emptyeye gets 4 power, 2 speed, 4 agility, gets the rest of his spells. We are going to 17.
And for each one of these levels that he has to go here, that that decision not to equip the Death Necklace could potentially add up. Although Zarnax did make a really good point. With so little MP, you might end up having to refill enough times to make it not as beneficial as it would if you didn't have to ever leave the grind spot. But yeah, definitely it would decrease the number of swings you need to take on these golems by at least 1 per battle, I believe.
It could be the case, but the defense is not really there, and if the golems are still swinging for high 30s to low 40s, then I would rather have the HP. Save some heals that way.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair side. If he was 75% hurt, I would think it was a clear decision, but with 50%, he's still swinging enough that it can really start taking tolls on your MP having to heal more through that.
That could be a good point, Sandman. He's only got 2 keys left. It's been a long, strange journey, this seed.
So we have Hangry down here in the second zone, which I don't think Emptyeye spent a whole lot of time in, because he left before he got to the bottom of it. I think he left as soon as he found out that golems were 50% hurt. And look at what we have here, an Armored Knight. That could complicate the dive.
And he's on the U seed. Almost went back, but now he's got another Armored Knight to deal with. This is bad news for the thehangrycanuck. And is being run blocked.
bad news for him now, but if you feel behind, this is the kind of thing you actually want to see, because you're hoping that your opponent's bad Char can have really bad luck in Charlock, and you'll get good luck if you feel like that's the only way you can win the seed. And right now, for Hangry, that looks like the only way he's going to be able to win the seed is with Emptyeye having some really bad experiences in Charlock. But Hangry's having some pretty bad experiences of his own at the moment.
And now he died in Sherlock.
So Pantheranos, Axe Knights are always 1 hurt more in swing, if not 1 hurt more. Armor Knights, you can get to the point where it's just 1 hurt more in a swing, but not when your attack power is 80, like Hangry's was. So you need probably closer in the 120s to make that particular swing and hurt more efficient against an where you can just swing once and hurt more and kill an Armor Knight. So that's certainly not doable at the stats we're at the moment.
And it looks like Emptyeye's 3 golems away from 12,000. So Emptyeye has 2 to go. His Emptyeye is just running an efficient grind right now on those golems.
And I think he's showing something that is often kind of discussed when we talk about grinding, which is that a bad grind tile can often be better than a good set of monsters in the overworld. Because if you could guarantee yourself, right, with these stats, an Axe Knight every other step instead of a Golem, you could get experience faster. But if you're trying to wander in Charlock and hoping to run into an Axe Knight 1 out of every 16 steps, it ends up eating so much time that taking the slower guaranteed fight pays off. So, in general, a bad grind, or a bad spike grind, is better than a good overworld grind. In general, there are obviously exceptions. But you're seeing that from Emptyeye right now, just how rapidly he's shooting up, and how big of a gain he's getting on Hangry, even though Hangry's actually getting some pretty good monsters of his own to grind on while he's exploring here.
That is right. And there it is. 9 power, 1 speed, 8 hit points, 5 magic points. So 123 if he puts on the Death Neck, he is going to 18.
Yeah, 123 strength. In order to have greater than 50% chance of winning, you need to pull off 20 swings. With the Death Necklace, I'm not envisioning a whole lot of hurt mores, and that is 9 heal mores. So, definitely needing another level.
What Emptyeye is looking for is a massive boost of power. I think if he gets 10... Actually, what he's thinking, he just needs 7. He just needs some MP, maybe to get to that 10th heal more, and maybe 3 MP and 7 strength. Because he can go 120, he could Death Necklace, he'll be at 107 or 108 HP, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, chat's kind of discussing it here about whether or not you go ahead and decide to do a dive and grind once you run out of resources here for Emptyeye, and I think I'd have to agree with what Beta Strep and Pyromance said, which is when one of your lacking stats is MP, the dive and grind becomes a much less preferable option, because unlike your other stats, you don't get the bonus or the value of an MP boost in Charlock. You have to leave and go back to an N to get that boost. So if that becomes the big number that works in their favor for Go mode, it doesn't help you out at all to do the dive. It just wasted your time rather than the more efficient grind you could be doing.
So Emptyeye is at 5 golems away from 18, and Emptyeye is happy that a lot of these are just now casting Hurt.
Yeah, the gain in attack power, while not nearly enough to allow taking on the Dragon Lord, it is speeding up these golem grinds by a significant amount. Again, this is basically the bonus I was talking about before you got from the Death Necklace. Rather than getting 10 attack power from the Death Necklace, he just got 9 attack power from the level. And so you're seeing that he's able to kill the golems in one less swing, which adds up pretty quickly.
That is absolutely true. Meanwhile, Hangry Canuck still leveling. Is he honestly thinking of diving and beating the Dragon Lord with just the Flame Sword?
I think he's still probably banking on Erdrick's Sword being in Charlock. You know, it's one of those things at this point, if you're him, you're going, if it's not in Charlock, then I've probably lost already. So let's just bank on it being there, because that's my only chance.
I see. And Emptyeye with 143 hit points. And yeah, now he's taking a long way out, which is to preserve that last key, even though he doesn't need it.
And Hangry picks up his second Erdrick's token, or I guess his now first, after returning in the drop. But so they are both carrying a token with them to the end, like it was 2.0.6 right now.
So 3 more golems for Emptyeye, and he will have 18. Hangry Canuck is just trying to find the sword.
The good news for Hangry is that these monsters on the dive are really nice and probably more efficient than the desert grind he was doing a little earlier. So if he can get there, it works out pretty nicely. Unfortunately, with these MP numbers, those hurt mores disappear real fast, and he knows he's going to need them for that bottom floor with the Armored Knights.
Yep. Meanwhile, Emptyeye on his last golem in order to get to 18. No reason, Panthronos. Those are beginner straps. And here it is. Here's level 18. Let's see if we get anything good. 6 power, 10 agility, 8 hit points, 7 magic points, 119, 151 maximum HP.
Yeah, you have to go for another level here still. You need 15 swings to give yourself a greater than 50% chance of winning, and 16 swings to give yourself a good chance. It goes from 52% to 86% on that. And so, with only 9 heal mores, probably still not getting any doubles, maybe 1. I don't think you're getting to 16 swings. Probably not getting to 15. So, definitely feeling like 19's... you gotta go to 19 now, but... You know, just a little bit of MP can totally change the calculus here. I guess they've got 10 heal mores now. But still just not quite enough.
No, they don't, and it's just a slog, dueling it out. So he's got 91 defense power. that means the Dragon Lord will be swinging for 90 for at most 47. I think.
That's correct. And beyond that, it also means he is defense breaking Dragon Lord 1. So that means that if that a swing is almost as good as a stop spell, and so your chances of getting to the Dragon Lord 2 with full resources are just a little bit better.
And Game Boy F9 is saying roughly 113 on the Death Necklace, so it is doable. Here's the Hangry Canuck. He is going to get the bad news.
Well,
and there's the fighter's ring.
That's almost 12, right? Trying to get rid of the Erdrick's token that's taking up spaces in inventory. Game won't let him do it.
So Hangry is gonna check the judge's table, i.e. Vanilla Sword Cave, or Vanilla Sword. Meanwhile, Emptyeye is 3 golems away from 14-5. Or 16-5, sorry.
Angry making his way out of that dangerous third zone, so he probably should have an easy trip now to the vanilla location. And then I think I'll probably be able to hear him screaming all the way from Canada.
Yep. Meanwhile, looks like Emptyeye is going to get to 19. Even if it's just like 2 or 3 attack strength, he's going to go. So here it is. Here's the stats.
0.
No strength. Mm.
And only 3 MP, so he didn't even gain any. He didn't even gain any heal mores on that. Now, with 159 hit points, that brings you up to 119, or 120 hit points after the Death Necklace. And so, and with 94 defense power, there's a good chance of getting a double or 2. And so it starts to become a little dicier. I still think it's asking a little much. To get 15 swings in is going to happen if you get fortunate. And that, like I said, that gives a 52% chance of killing the Dragon Lord. So it's probably just not worth the risk yet, given how easy these golem grinds are.
Yep, and it looks like he is gonna nope out of there. Yikes. So now it's 19-5, I believe.
Emptyeye going with the Death Necklace strats, getting sick of this, and now with 119 after the Death Necklace, I think it's going to be. We'll see once it updates sometimes it takes a little delay before it actually updates the hit points in the status screen. But once that happens, with 119, I think this is an excellent move, because you're not hampered by, having to heal more every other turn.
And it looks like it's 120 hit points he's going to have. $120 attack. 120 hit points. So 10 more golems to get to 19.5.
Now, it is worth noting that his odds would improve significantly. Emptyeye's odds would improve significantly if he were to get the fighter's ring. He'd still need to get 15 swings off, but would... or he actually could win over half the time with only 14 swings, so that starts becoming more reasonable with 10 heal mores. If he's explored everywhere else, he never did explore Mountain Cave, so it may not be worth it to bank on the fighter's ring. But the fighter's ring could really turn this into a much closer chance against the Dragon Lord.
That is true. And now Hangry Canuck is exploring the area near Rimmeldar. He's not going to find the sword there. I don't think Emptyeye would have a reason to if he gets to level 20 and there's a good enough strength gain. So he's down to 4 more golems. Because it'll barely take him to 19.5.
I always love it when I'm grinding in those extra 5 XP rather than being 250, being 255 end up coming into play, putting me just right over the hump.
And Hangry Canuck has found it. He has found Tablet Cave. So now 2 away from level 20 for Emptyeye. Alright, this could be it. Level 20 could have the goods. I think if there's a lot of MP or a lot of strength, he goes.
Absolutely. Any gain in strength, or even honestly, another magic point to give yourself 1 more heal more, I think puts it enough over the edge where you've got to risk it at this point in the seed. You just got to take your chance.
Well, the results are in. In the case of Emptyeye, 6 and 5.
Well, the 6 attack power is enough to do it. The 0 MP is obnoxious, but 125 hit points with the Death Necklace equipped is really impressive.
That could get you. That will get you some. Emptyeye is going to go for 21. I have no words.
I mean, looking at my chart here, you need to get 13 swings off, and with 10 MP, if you get into the Dragon Lord with full resources and assume no doubles, then that will be 13 swings you're going to get off. But with 94 defense power and 125 hit points, you've got to expect to get a couple of doubles throughout the battle, or even at least one. And I think that that's enough that would tell me to go for it, even if it meant that I had to potentially risk losing a heal more on my dive. The decision to grind another level, especially at this point where the levels are 12 golems apart, in a closer race, that could be pretty costly. I know we saw someone a couple days ago have that issue where they decided to go for an extra safety level, and that cost them the race. It's an interesting decision, but of course, it's going to work out just fine for Emptyeye in this particular seed.
I think Emptyeye may be shell-shocked a bit, because if I remember correctly, wasn't there a race, I want to earlier in the tournament, where he underleveled and it cost him, because he kept on going and going into Sherlock, and he kept on getting his teeth kicked in. So maybe he thinks over-leveling a bit will be okay.
I mean, you have to look at the time it takes you to grind here, and the amount of time a failed Sherlock dive is going to take. And when you're looking at that, and you think the odds of a failed Sherlock dive are pretty high, and you think, hey, if I take that same amount of time and grind 12 more golems, then I drastically decrease those odds. It's a safe play. It's just a tough one to make a decision on when you're in a race condition like this, especially in such a tight race. A 2-2 race where everything is on the line right here. This is for your tournament life. Sometimes it's hard to know whether or not you should take that risk or not. I do wonder if he's going to decide to do a dive and grind for the rest of this now once he refills his health.
Who knows, but just want to let everybody know that the next race will be at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. It is Silverfire versus Edgeworth. That's a 3-1 battle over at RPG Limbrick, so we'll probably head over there once this race is done.
Emptyeye not using Radiant this time around going into the swamp, so I do think he's going to head straight to Sherlock and get those last 1100 experience on his dive to the Dragon Lord. Worth noting that at 94 defense power, he is defense breaking wizards, werewolves, green dragons, star wyverns, and axe knights. So those are all good monsters to swing at on your way down. And if I'm not mistaken, 4 of the 5 monsters in this first zone fit in that category. Now, the other question we have is, I mean, it'll be heavily dependent upon what the stat gains are, because I assume he's going to hit 21 before he actually gets to the point where he has to make this decision, but is he going to check the treasury for the ring? For that little extra boost.
So Emptyeye, sorry that I stepped away. It looks like Emptyeye is grinding and going. Which I don't see the problem with, because he's pretty much defense breaking a lot of things.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty smooth sailing. With this agility, he's a favorite by a narrow, narrow margin to run away from an armored knight. So, although depending upon who you are in this community, you may or may not believe that that number actually means anything. I know High Spirits believes agility is just a number. Beta Strep has had his questions about agility as well, I know. But yeah. Statistically speaking, you're about a 50% chance to run from, or slightly better than 50% chance to run from Armored Knights at 89 agility, so he's got a decent chance of making it through this third zone without a whole lot of problems, but we'll have to see.
I think we need the Steiner math version of agility. Like, I have 141 2/3% chance at winning at sacrifice. Or this one, I have 141 2/3 chance of running away from a red dragon. The numbers don't lie. And they spell freedom from you and Sherlock.
Alright, so we are about to find out if Emptyeye is going to decide to go towards the fighter's ring, or not. He is not quite to level 21, so he's probably going to make that decision before he gets there, and let's see what he chooses.
Well, he's going to fight a stone man, so he's going to get there. Oh, he is going to go.
Yeah, I think he got the one swing from the stoneman and realized, oh, my agility is not quite high enough to deal with this, so I decided to escape.
And a werewolf dodging. So this will take Emptyeye to 137 attack power. So he'll be swinging for most 18, have a low of 9. And that was what Emptyeye was looking for. It was looking for that werewolf. That's going to get him to level 21. Let's take a look here. 4 power, 6 speed, 5 hit points, 16 magic. A little too late for the magic.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty free at this point in time now.
And with that fighter's ring, it's going to be high at 20, low at 10.
Yeah, he's now down to 11 swings, gives him a 75% chance of winning, 12 gives him a 97% chance of winning, and with 130 hit points post-Death Necklace, as well as 10 heal mores, that is, and 97 defense power, it's if it's hard to imagine a scenario where he doesn't get the rolls necessary to win at this point.
Ooh, and the red dragon was on the spike tile the whole time. Oh boy.
Well, that was a mild nuisance. That is actually would have been an interesting thing to. Well, I guess you'd have had the same problem with him as you would have with the golem in terms of number of swings it would have taken before now. Seems like a really nice grind now, but obviously they have the attack power to manage it.
Yep. And it did look like the golem was the best grind of the three. Yeah, he's gonna do some running.
So to answer the question in chat, if you gain levels after putting on the death necklace, are your HP gains reduced to compensate for the minus 25%? Yes. They are recalculated at each level, so you will end up with the HP you would have ended up if you had to just equip the death necklace after gaining that level.
Okay, Emptyeye, thou art a fool. He is defense breaking the Dragon Lord. Hits him for 48. Aha! Stop spell! Referring clear.
Well, as if things weren't going nicely enough for him with those stat gains, this is going to be a hard Dragon Lord fight to lose, barring a miss menu.
So he's going to get a double. Will he get a triple? No! Does not get a triple.
If only you could equip the death necklace a second time.
Well, he's going to get a double here. Barring anything wonky, it looks like Emptyeye is going to win this thing in a rout. And we may have a potential of a triple. Nope. So everybody ready your GGs, because we're about ready to crown Emptyeye a winner. And there it is. Get your GGs out, ladies and gentlemen. Emptyeye has defeated the Dragon Lord, and he is your winner of this race. He will finish in an SRL time of around 2 hours, 4 minutes. And Hangry Canuck, while he was a valiant effort on his part, he unfortunately could not do it. He will drop to 2 and 3 and unfortunately be eliminated. And Hangry Canuck just got the bad news. He saw the dot done, and I think he's got a dot forfeit.
All right, so we're going to see if we can't get them in here for interviews.
That was a brutal, brutal seed.
I believe I saw Game Boy say earlier that this was a record for level gained after they added the Death Necklace option to the randomizer. And it looks like we have the Hangry Canuck in our commentary booth. GG.
Oh my god, I can't believe the sword was that close.
Yeah, I mentioned that I thought I could hear you scream from here when you got to Vanilla, or the judges table, and found out that that sword wasn't there.
I found out it wasn't there, and I was like, oh no, I missed that one chest in the, mountain cave that I got killed just before I got there. No surprise. The early game just destroyed me. I couldn't even walk 2 steps without hitting something I couldn't run from.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Did you notice the gold grind?
What do you mean? Right away?
Yeah, there was a gold grind right away.
Yeah, I picked the wrong chest.
So what Emptyeye did was he actually went out and he found quickly and opted to immediately reset and start a new save so he could set up the gold grind with that and go get the magic armor and flame sword, and that was where he was able to get his lead over you early on.
Yeah, I went south, and I one step from the town, of course, an enemy showed up and killed me. And then I tried to get into the cave, an enemy showed up and killed me. Yeah, it took me 30 minutes to actually get anywhere because everything I hit would not let me run and would just destroy me.
And on that note, we do have Emptyeye here joining us in the commentary booth. Emptyeye, gotta say GG's on a wonderful race. You did it. You got 3 and 2, and you're moving on to the brackets.
Oh man, I am so happy right now. I mean, anything that happens past this point is kind of gravy, honestly. Before the match, when we were first setting it up, Hangry Canuck and I were talking, and speaking only for myself, even getting to 2 and 2 was, basically as long as I didn't go over, I would have been happy, because I think the last time I played Dragon Warrior Randomizer before this tournament was probably the Winter League. And I know, Hangry, you mentioned it had been even longer for you, so...
Well, to be quite honest, these 5 Swiss weeks were the first seeds I played since the last tournament last year.
Yeah, so, as for the seed itself, that was in everything, really. That was a beginning, I definitely got fortunate a couple times. Definitely got away with some things I arguably shouldn't have gotten away with, especially on that golem grind.
Did you actually get to the chests in the grave the first try?
Let me think. I went into the grave. I think I immediately... No, I went into the grave, didn't even have time to figure out what it was before I died. But after that... So what actually I did was I got the 2 keys, kind of raided the treasury to see what was there. Left to see if I could find an easy town nearby. Found coal. Saw it had flame sword, magic armor, and then erased my file and actually started over to set up the gold grind and max herbs to get myself the flame sword and magic armor. And then kind of went from there. Which I realize doesn't actually answer your question. So I think the first time I seriously took a shot at the grave, which I had built up some levels at that point, I think I did actually get through it, but it was a while between when I first saw the grave and when I actually decided I was confident enough to try and dive the grave, so...
Yeah, I raided the treasury, and then I took Scorp, ended the story there.
Yeah, so the other big thing is, as I was kind of scouting Charlock for information, trying to do a dive, I kept running from golems, and then I think one got the jump on me where I tried to run away and failed, and then I found out golems had hurt. And I knew that the spike tile in Swamp Cave was a golem, which I didn't particularly want to grind up to that point. But when I saw golems had hurt, I was like, oh, this changes the math completely. Like, that's now a great grind spot, even if it takes a while per golem. So I I was at level 21 by the time I finally finished. I
21. Wow, then I was nowhere near it.
yeah, I was.
Oh yeah.
Definitely nervous at the end there. I'm just curious, how high did you make it before?
I think I was 16. I just couldn't find anywhere good to grind, and like I said, the early part of it, I didn't get the sword till, God, almost 2 hours in. I went and cleared out the treasury, I cleared out vanilla, no sword. I'd missed one chest in the mountain cave, because I got killed before it, of course, like everything else in the seed. I think I had like 5 excellent moves, not a single one hit, everything got dodged. It was absolutely funny, I was just laughing.
Yeah. That happens sometimes. I myself actually was pretty fortunate with the crits overall, so...
I gotta say though, I was pretty good running from blue dragons. I don't think any of them actually stopped me.
Yeah, I think I got stopped by a couple early on, and then once the agility started rolling in a little bit. Excuse me.
Sandman, the flute was in coal, and we do have a question from the chat, Emptyeye. This one's directed to you. This is from Ruler2112. Could you please ask him why he kept picking up the gold chest in Garen?
Because it was there, and because I was actually expecting at some point to run out of keys, and have to, or get down to 1 key and have to restock at the castle, or something like that. I mean, you're right, there was really nothing I could have bought at that point, but it was, I don't know, it made me feel better. Personally, I would ask myself why I intentionally grabbed the 2 staves of rain. So yeah, McGrew, that's not actually fixed. Because I had the chest glitch active at the time, so I was like, he said it was fixed. I'm just going to test this and see if I can get a second Staff of Rain. And it turned out I could. And I not really intentionally got a second Erdrick's token as well. Out of Garanhan. So.
Yeah, I got the double Erdrick's token as well.
You gotta love those doubles, don't you? Who knows? Maybe Emptyeye could have been the first runner to get a double rainbow drop.
Oh, that would be funny. Actually, sort of curious if there's a way to set. I don't think there is. Well,
no, there are checks on the token. The reason you were able to get the token a second time was because the jerk now takes the token.
Okay, it was because he. All right, so I never actually had 2 tokens, right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And they don't check for the staff because you can't ever in vanilla. You can't. There's no reason to check.
Right. There's no reason.
Whether you already have the staff because you just gave up the heart to get it.
Right.
But the stones they would make that they do the check for, so you wouldn't have ever been able to pick up a second set of stones to build a second drop.
Oh right, because yeah, that's in the basement. Okay.
Yep. So that's a little glitch that might need to be patched out in 2.13.
I mean, I like the double Staff of Rain personally, but. But yeah, that was, like, I don't know if you noticed, but starting at, like, level 18, 19, 20, I kept looking, and, like, I kept wanting the math to work, and in the end, I just didn't think it did. And I decided, alright, it's marginal at 20, I'm gonna basically finish out this MP stack, and then try to grind the rest of 21 on the way down.
And that's exactly what happened, you know what, you got it.
Yeah, it worked out. I was apparently, I don't know if I just got good rolls on DL2. I was definitely lucky on DL1. No doubt about that. But I don't know if I just got good rolls on DL2. I think I rolled pretty well.
You were getting an average.
Okay. But yeah, I guess I had a little more leeway than I thought there. So the other thing was I almost wondered if I should have thrown the Death Necklace on even earlier than I did, because there was just so much HP, and it was pretty clear that, Death Necklace a viable / necessary play at that point. But I maybe should have thrown it on earlier than I did. But...
I don't think so. I don't think the HP was there until when you actually did throw it on.
There was some rich conversation in chat around that particular, about whether or not to equip the Death Necklace. That went on for quite a few levels.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, like, up until I put it on, I liked having the extra HP and kind of being able to make the heal mores stretch out a little bit more. Then I would have liked the extra damage, but it eventually got to a point where it's just like, okay, this is ridiculous. Just put the thing on and go from there.
Right,
like,
when you had around
after the Death Necklace by the end there, so...
And that gave you the doubles that you needed.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's I ended up with some leeway there. I thought about, like, I was so nervous at the end. I was like, okay, am I counting correctly? Did I miss an attack? Did I count an extra attack? I really had I ended when I expected to. Like, it was like, okay, the damage is... Oh, how much HP did the Dragon Lord have anyway? That'd be average or below.
I think it was like 155.
Yeah, okay, because I think I did one... I think I did like 157 or 158, or at least that was what I counted. And it was enough, so...
Yeah.
Looks like it's actually 164.
164!
Really? Wow, well, good thing I... Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if I missed an attack or had an extra attack. I was like, okay, I think I'm doing really well. Apologies for you Swagmore fanatics out there, but I was like, playoff life on the line, I'm not risking it, even though I think I have the MB to do it. But, yeah, that was the other thing, is I was making absolutely sure I was not misclicking anything on the Dragon Lord there. Like, if I have to take an extra second, make sure the cursor's on heal more, that's fine. I'll,
That's right, but there you go. You did it. You're 3-2. You're in the playoffs. Congratulations, Emptyeye.
Thank you.
Angry Canuck, unfortunately for you, 2-3. You gave it a great effort, but in the end, RNGesus didn't bless you this go around.
Yeah, it definitely happens. GG, Angry Canuck. I was definitely nervous that whole race, especially near the end there. Yeah, but like I said, I'm definitely happy to be onto the bracket, and whatever happens now, I've exceeded my own expectations, let's put it that
way. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting set up to track the next race. Yeah, GG, buddy, good luck in the brackets. I can't say RNG totally got me. I made a few mistakes by not going north when I searched where the cave was for the swords, so... Then I just couldn't find a good grind spot. And all I knew, as soon as I found coal, like 5 minutes in, I figured, okay, I'm done. I'm already done. I just put it on cruise control, turned my music on, and was just roaming around.
Oh, alright. Well, get ready to do your seed. Actually, let everybody know that Hangry Canuck will be doing the 3-1 race that's going to be happening. Over at RPG Limit Break, so why don't we, I don't know if RPG Limit Break is online right now. If we can get a raid.
Not yet.
Okay, so everybody at 6:30, 10 minutes from now, RPG Limit Break will be the destination. And...
anyway, I'm gonna pop out, so thanks for the commentary, guys. I know it was short notice, you guys jumped in. It's appreciated. Thank you, Captain Green, for doing the tracking and the restreaming as well. And Emptyeye, good luck in the brackets, buddy. I had an enjoyable tournament. I won 2 more than I figured I would, since I haven't practiced all year. But other than that, I'd like to thank everybody, and I will see you next year.
All right, take care, Hangry.
Yes, thank you all for all the behind-the-scenes work. I greatly appreciate it, and as do all the racers here. And thank you all, everyone who came by and watched this. Hopefully it lived up to the hype, given the playoff implications.
I like to think it did, so let's put a bow on this. And what will happen, we're going to toss a host to the Zelda 1 Rando Battle Royal Top 3 on Randomania. And then remember, at RPG Limit Break in 10 minutes, for Dragon Warrior Randomizer. So, that's going to do it for this race. I'd like to thank Captain Green for restreaming, Tyrannex for tracking, Emptyeye, once again, congratulations, 3-2, see you in the brackets. Thilotilo, my co-host, I am sigmafan saying good night. Good night.